Welcome back, everyone. Before we dive in, make sure to drop your thoughts and the lessons you took from this story in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Malik tried to believe her, but on weekends, she'd sleep till noon, glued to her phone, laughing at messages he never saw. When she did look at him, sometimes her eyes flickered with something between boredom and contempt. He didn't know when he'd gone from partner to background noise. Her family loved him when he was the one fixing cars and mowing lawns for free. Now they barely called. His own friends stopped inviting him out. He was always working, always busy. Malik started to feel invisible in his own life, moving from room to room, picking up after people who didn't seem to notice he was there. Still, he kept moving. He was built that way. Work, provide, repeat. He drove late nights to pay off Tiffany's new BMW. He covered her mother's hospital bills without a word. When Andre needed braces, Malik sold his old comic collection from childhood, his last tie, to simpler days. The party was Tiffany's idea. She'd made senior partner, the youngest black woman at the firm, to do it. Malik was proud, genuinely. He listened as she planned every detail. The rooftop venue in Buckhead, the caterers, the signature drinks, even the string quartet. Malik crunched numbers in silence, then quietly picked up every tab. He sold his custom-built motorcycle, the one he'd spent years restoring, to cover the last invoice. The night of the party was hot and sticky, the air humming with cicadas. Malik put on his best suit, pressed and clean, and tried to match Tiffany's energy. She looked stunning, regal, powerful, already halfway gone into her new life. Andre was at a friend's sleepover, so Malik walked Tiffany to the car, holding the door for her as always. At the rooftop, the city sparkled. Tiffany was immediately swallowed up by friends and colleagues. Malik hovered at the edge, refilling her glass, adjusting the caterers, tipping the valet. He was used to being background, but tonight it stung in a new way. Halfway through the night, as a group from the firm gathered, Tiffany motioned Malik over. He smiled, expecting an introduction. Instead, she waved a dismissive hand and said, "Oh, that's just my driver." Laughter rippled through the group. Nobody corrected her. Malik froze, smile faltering, as the group turned away and the conversation drifted back to business. Malik's ears rang. He walked to the bar, asked for water, and watched Tiffany hold court with her coworkers. The humiliation wasn't just the words, but how easily she dismissed him, like he was a stranger, like the last decade hadn't happened. He finished his water, left without a word, and drove home alone. The next morning, Tiffany didn't come home. She texted, "Staying with the girls. Don't wait up." No apology, no explanation. Malik spent the night staring at the living room ceiling, remembering the way she used to reach for his hand in the dark. In the days that followed, something in Malik broke and mended at the same time. Tiffany started sleeping in the guest room to clear her head. She barely spoke to him at all, unless she needed something, money, a ride to the airport, someone to pick up dry cleaning. Her family ghosted him. Their son started mimicking her attitude, rolling his eyes when Malik asked about homework. It was like living with strangers in his own home. Andre grew cold, sometimes snapping, "Why don't you do something real for once?" Malik's friends stopped calling. Even the people he once helped out, neighbors he'd fix cars for, acted like he was contagious. Malik didn't argue. He let it all roll over him like rain. He kept driving, kept paying bills, kept showing up for a family that seemed to be dissolving in front of his eyes. But at night, he started plotting. Not for revenge, not yet, but for a way out. He remembered the way his mother used to hustle, how she'd always have a backup plan. Malik began researching veterans programs, business grants, small business loans. He read everything he could find about custom auto shops, restoration businesses, and Atlanta's classic car scene. He applied to a mentorship program for veterans run by a local entrepreneur, and to his surprise, he was accepted. He didn't tell Tiffany. He just went on lunch breaks, late evenings, whenever he could. He soaked up advice, made notes, worked out a plan. He picked up more driving shifts, quietly saving every extra dollar. He sold his life insurance policy, cashed in the last of his savings, pawned his gold watch. Every week he squirreled money away into a separate account, one Tiffany didn't know about. He found a rundown garage for rent in the West End, a squat brick building with busted windows and oil stains on the floor. It was perfect. He signed the lease, using his saved cash and the small loan from the Veterans Program. He called the new shop Iron Legacy Customs, a nod to his mother, to Detroit, to every rough edge that shaped him. For months he worked all day and night, driving, fixing, learning, marketing. The first few months were slow, but word spread. He did good work, treated clients with respect, didn't cheat or cut corners. He worked on classics, a '67 Impala, a '72 Bronco, even a rare old Cadillac that belonged to an ex-Falcons player. His reputation grew, mostly by word of mouth. No fanfare, just a steady climb. By the end of the year, Malik had a wait list. He hired 2 other mechanics, both veterans. The business became profitable, then comfortable. He stopped coming home late. He stopped coming home much at all. Tiffany barely noticed. She was busy. Work, friends, new events. Always another networking opportunity. Their son, Andre, started high school and pulled further away. Malik felt invisible, but now he didn't mind. He was building something just for him. One night, he came home late, exhausted but content. He found Tiffany waiting in the kitchen, arms crossed, annoyed. "Where have you been?" she demanded. "At work," he replied. She rolled her eyes. "You mean driving rich people around?" "No," he said quietly. "Building my shop." She blinked, surprised. "What shop?" Malik just shrugged. "Don't worry about it." A week later, he moved out. He packed his clothes, left a note and the house keys on the counter, and drove away in his restored Impala. No shouting, no drama, just silence. Tiffany didn't call. Andre sent a single text. "Why you leaving?" Malik wrote back. "Call me when you want to talk." Months passed with no answer. Malik focused on his shop, on his small, chosen family of mechanics, and the peace of a quiet home. He rented a 1-bedroom apartment in the West End, started cooking for himself, and fixed up old bikes on weekends. He reconnected with his sister back in Detroit, sent his mother money, and let the old pain in his chest finally loosen. 2 years passed like water under a bridge. One muggy summer afternoon, Malik stopped at a gas station on his way back from a client's house. As he stepped out, a familiar voice called his name. It was Monica, one of Tiffany's old friends from the firm. She looked awkward, shuffling her feet. "Hey, Malik. Wow, long time." He nodded, polite but cool. "How you been?" She hesitated. You, hear about Tiffany?" He shook his head, pretending not to care. Things haven't been great. She got let go last year. Something about misused funds, some drama at the firm. She's, been having a hard time." Malik just smiled. "Life happens." Monica nodded, bit her lip. "She lives out by College Park now. Lost the condo. Her boyfriend left too. Anyway, take care, Malik." He watched her walk away, heart pounding. Not with joy, not with revenge. Just a quiet, settled peace. A few days later, Malik was leaving a Kroger, groceries loaded in his trunk, when he saw her. Tiffany, older, tired, her curls pulled back, her heels worn down. She was struggling with cheap grocery bags, balancing her purse, a look of defeat carved into her face. She saw him, recognition flickering in her eyes. For a split second, she seemed about to call out, but Malik just nodded once, calm, composed. He slid into his Impala, started the engine, and rolled past her without a word. He didn't look back. That night, he sat on his apartment balcony, beer in hand, watching the sun set over the West End. The world was quieter now. He didn't have a wife, or the fancy parties, or even the praise of a son who'd turn his back. But he had himself, a thriving business, a life built on hard work and unshakable dignity. He'd never raised his voice. He'd never sought revenge. He just took his pain, carried it forward, and built something strong from it. Tiffany, her family, even Andre, they all vanished like mist, leaving Malik in the sunshine of his own peace. When people talked about karma, they imagined lightning bolts and public justice. Malik knew better. Real karma was slow, private, and quiet. It was a man driving his own car, on his own road, away from the people who couldn't see his worth. He was never just a driver. He was the engine, steady, unbreakable, built for distance. The party, the laughter, the betrayals, all just pit stops along the way. Now, as the city lights flickered below, Malik smiled for the first time in a long while. He had learned his mother's lesson. Finally, build your peace. Let the world chase you. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a powerful story drop.